The great American tradition of separating fools from their money has found its perfect 21st century iteration, cryptocurrency, that digital casino where the house always wins and the marks congratulate themselves on their sophistication while being fleeced. And who better to shepherd this flock of the financially suicidal than our contemporary carnival barkers, Donald Trump, Logan Paul, Andrew Tate, and that techno-charlatan extraordinaire Elon Musk. Now, before the blockchain evangelists start screaming FUD and clutching their hardware wallets, let me be clear, not all cryptocurrency is created equal in its uselessness. Bitcoin, that granddaddy of digital speculation, at least has the distinction of being genuinely censorship-resistant and scarce. Digital gold, as its adherents insist, though gold at least has industrial applications and makes attractive jewelry. And yes, in Venezuela and Zimbabwe, Bitcoin has provided a lifeline for people whose governments turned their currencies into toilet paper. When your national currency is inflating at 10,000% annually, even magical internet money starts looking sensible. Ethereum goes further, actually doing things. Smart contracts, decentralized applications, the whole Web3 mythology that promises to revolutionize everything while currently revolutionizing mainly the speed at which people lose money. It's more than just a database, it's a very slow, very expensive database that also happens to be a casino. Progress. But these relatively legitimate use cases, and I use legitimate in the way one might describe a 3-card Monte game as legitimate, because at least the cards are real, have become the perfect cover for an ecosystem of grift that would make Charles Ponzi proud. Consider the exquisite cynicism of Trump launching his own cryptocurrency. Here is a man who has bankrupted casinos, enterprises specifically designed to extract money from people who can't do basic probability math. A man whose every business venture has been a monument to grift, from Trump University to Trump Steaks, now asking his devotees to buy imaginary money with his face on it. The Trump coin, because apparently making America great again requires Americans to lose their savings in new and innovative ways. The sales pitch is always the same, delivered with the evangelical fervor of a tent revival preacher who's been sampling the snake oil. "We're going to the moon," they cry, as if astronomical bodies were investment destinations rather than lifeless rocks in the void, though perhaps that's more apt as a metaphor than they realize. "Diamond hands," they bellow, encouraging their marks to hold on to their worthless tokens, even as the value plummets towards zero. Don't listen to the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is their clever way of saying ignore your survival instincts and basic mathematics. The spectrum of crypto runs from possibly useful but wildly overvalued to outright theft with extra steps. On one end, you have your Bitcoins and Ethereums, volatile as nitroglycerin but at least pretending to solve actual problems. In the middle, the meme coins, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, which are essentially lottery tickets for people who think lottery tickets aren't quite stupid enough. And at the bottom, the rug pulls, the pump and dumps, the Squid Game tokens that literally won't let you sell them. Logan Paul, that monument to everything wrong with influencer culture, managed to pull off a particularly spectacular grift with CryptoZoo, promising a fun game that makes you money. The game never materialized, of course, but the money certainly did, out of investors' pockets and into the ether. When confronted about this, Paul did what any responsible financial innovator would do. He blamed everyone else and launched a defamation lawsuit against the journalist who exposed him. Because nothing says legitimate business quite like suing people for accurately describing your scam. And then there's Andrew Tate, that cartoonish embodiment of toxic masculinity, who leveraged his bizarre philosophy of alpha male supremacy into shilling something called real-world token. Here's a man under investigation for human trafficking who decided the natural next step was financial fraud. The progression is almost admirable in its shamelessness, from allegedly exploiting women to exploiting his own followers' desperate desire to be like him, rich, obnoxious, and utterly devoid of conscience. But these are merely the foot soldiers in the great crypto con. The real maestro, the Paganini of pump and dump, is Elon Musk, who has turned market manipulation into a spectator sport. Watch as he tweets a picture of a Shiba Inu and sends Dogecoin, a cryptocurrency literally created as a joke, soaring in value. Marvel as he announces Tesla will accept Bitcoin, then reverses course weeks later, each tweet moving billions of dollars like a puppet master yanking strings. The SEC, that toothless guardian of market integrity, occasionally makes whimpering noises about market manipulation and insider trading, but Musk has discovered the cheat code. If you do it openly enough, brazenly enough, and with enough memes, apparently it's not illegal, just disruptive innovation. Yes, blockchain technology itself isn't inherently evil, any more than the internet was inherently evil when it was mostly used for porn and pyramid schemes in the 1990s. The technology has real applications: supply chain tracking, remittances through stablecoins that are genuinely faster and cheaper than Western Union's highway robbery. But asking us to focus on blockchain's legitimate uses while the crypto economy burns is like praising the Titanic's revolutionary hull design while it's actively sinking. Wall Street Bets, that Reddit cesspool where financial nihilism meets meme culture, has become the nerve center of this new economy. Here, losing money isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. Loss porn, they call it, posting screenshots of six-figure losses like battle scars. They've transformed financial ruin into a form of entertainment, a spectator sport where the biggest loser gets the most upvotes. It's as if the victims of Bernie Madoff had formed a fan club and competed to see who could give him more money. The terminology alone reveals the scam. HODL, a misspelling of hold that became a rallying cry, encourages people to never sell, no matter how far their investment plummets. Buy the dip turns every price collapse into a buying opportunity rather than a warning sign. Paper hands versus diamond hands, a binary that frames selling for a profit as weakness and riding an investment to zero as strength. It's a vocabulary designed to override every instinct that might preserve your wealth. And when the inevitable happens, when the creators cash out, when the smart money exits, when the whole edifice collapses, they have a word for that too: rug pull. As if it were some natural phenomenon, like rain or earthquakes, rather than the entirely predictable conclusion of a scam. The environmental destruction caused by proof-of-work cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin is just the garnish on this sandwich of stupidity. Yes, Ethereum has moved to proof-of-stake, reducing its energy consumption by 99%. Congratulations on making your digital casino slightly less apocalyptic. But Bitcoin still consumes more electricity than Argentina, all to maintain a network that processes 7 transactions per second. Visa handles 65,000. The revolution will not be energized, apparently. NFTs, non-fungible tokens, deserve special mention in this pantheon of idiocy. Yes, the underlying technology could theoretically revolutionize property rights, digital ownership, and creative compensation. In practice, it's been used to sell receipts for ugly ape JPEGs to money launderers and status seekers. The Bored Ape Yacht Club perfectly encapsulates the whole phenomenon: ugly, pointless, and obscenely expensive. A flag planted on the peak of Mount Stupid to declare, "I have more money than sense, and I want everyone to know it." The true genius of the crypto scam is that it exists on a spectrum of legitimacy just plausible enough to keep the marks coming. Sure, 99% of crypto projects are scams, they say, but Bitcoin is different. Ethereum has smart contracts. My particular shitcoin has a really convincing white paper. It's like defending casinos because sometimes someone wins the jackpot, or pyramid schemes because the first few levels actually do make money. Take the gloriously named Squid Game token, which shot up 2,300% in value before the creators made off with $3.3 million, and the token became literally unsellable. The scammers had coded the thing so investors could buy but not sell, a feature so brazenly criminal that you almost have to admire it. They turned the metaphor of the Netflix show, desperate people destroying themselves for the entertainment of the rich, into a literal investment opportunity. The suckers in Wall Street Bets at least have the honesty to call themselves retards and apes, acknowledging their own foolishness even as they compound it. They've turned financial suicide into a subculture, complete with its own language, heroes, and martyrs. They worship at the altar of Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty, who made millions on GameStop, conveniently forgetting the thousands who lost everything trying to replicate his success. And now we have sovereign nations, El Salvador being the most tragicomic example, betting their treasuries on Bitcoin as if the solution to poverty were to gamble the national wealth on digital tokens. President Bukele tweets Bitcoin price predictions with the confidence of a Reddit day trader, except he's gambling with the pensions and futures of millions of people who have no choice in the matter. Yes, Bitcoin might provide a hedge against inflation, but so does buying literally any physical asset that isn't actively decomposing. The comparison to traditional insider trading almost seems quaint now. Martha Stewart went to prison for saving $45,000 on a stock trade based on insider information. Elon Musk manipulates billions in cryptocurrency values with a tweet about his dog and gets invited to host Saturday Night Live. The difference? Martha's crime involved actual companies making actual products. Musk's manipulation involves digital tokens that explicitly promise nothing and deliver exactly that. Look, I understand the appeal. The traditional financial system is rigged, corrupt, and designed to extract wealth from the many to enrich the few. But replacing it with a different system that's also rigged, also corrupt, and even more efficient at wealth extraction isn't revolution. It's just changing the name on the casino marquee. Yes, DeFi could theoretically democratize finance. In practice, it's democratized getting scammed, making financial ruin accessible to everyone with an internet connection and a dangerous level of optimism. The crypto economy has created a new class system: the scammers and the scammed, the rug pullers and the rug pulled, the ones who create the tokens and the ones who buy them. And in the middle, a shrinking class of true believers who insist that any day now, any day, blockchain will revolutionize everything, while they lose money at revolutionary speeds. So yes, not all crypto is a scam. Some of it is just wildly overvalued speculation. Some has genuine if limited utility. Stablecoins really do make remittances cheaper. Blockchain really could improve supply chain tracking. But asking us to celebrate these modest achievements while the crypto ecosystem burns billions in value and electricity is like asking us to admire the Hindenburg's innovative use of hydrogen while it's exploding over New Jersey. The truth is that crypto exists on a continuum from mostly useless to actively criminal, with a sweet spot of technically innovative but practically worthless in the middle. And whether you're buying Bitcoin because you think it's digital gold, Ethereum because you believe in Web3, or Trump coin because you've suffered recent head trauma, you're still participating in a system where the house always wins and the house is whoever sold you the tokens. When someone tells you they're into crypto, what they're really saying is either, I'm running a scam, I'm falling for a scam, or I'm hoping to sell my bags to a bigger fool before the music stops. The technology might be revolutionary, but revolutions eat their children, and this one is devouring its young at market prices plus gas fees. HODL on, diamond hands. HODL on all the way down. At least you'll have the blockchain to prove you owned nothing of value with cryptographic certainty.